Hello and welcome. Right, so this is a semi-craft Christmas video. Christmas craft. It's Christmas crafting, isn't it? Yes. I'm a bit hesitant because I am now using a new I'm using a new tripod. However, said tripod was donated to charity shop where I work. And I think I know why. It was donated because it's not quite right. Anyway, this is a very simple gift idea which I've had here, and it is the sort of, you could use it as an advent calendar if you really wanted to, but mine is going to be for a gift. So as I'm sure you know, if you live in England or if you live in any Christian country, there are wreaths everywhere. These type of wreaths. So obviously this isn't a wreath, but they're all made with this stuff which is on there, which incidentally was the same stuff that you have on here. Here I've got on my Christmas tree, but these are actually like polystyrene and like fake foliage and the rest of it. So you can have a fake foliage wreath. I haven't got one of them, but I've got one of these, which I'm hoping to turn into something similar to this, something better than this, because this is my trial version of it, which isn't quite right. And I want to gift this to somebody, so I want it to be better than this one. So that's what it looked like to begin with, and that's what it looks like now. And I have put lottery scratch cards in there, and that's why you could potentially use it as a advent calendar, because you could buy 25 of these and put them in there. So obviously, if anybody who involved in receiving one of these has ever had an addiction, especially a gambling addiction, this is not a good idea, because gambling addiction is rife. So don't get them one if they're a gambler, or if they're likely to, not take it in the good spirit that it is intended. This is going to be gifted to somebody who will understand the sense that it was gifted to them in. So I have put sparkly, glittery wool on there, and when I started putting it on, I'd watched a tutorial about how to do a dream catcher, but obviously a dream catcher, it actually needs quite a tight weave on it, and I need quite an open weave in order to be able to pop the tickets in there for them to be able to hold in there. So I'm hoping that I can do a wider weave on this, but not put quite as much on there as I have with that one, because that's just way too much, with it still looking decent. I'm also going to try and add a hanging bit on it. Now, these ones have only got fake snow on them, so these ones aren't being a problem too much for me. However, this one that I've got here, which I purchased the other day, which is now sitting in a carrier bag, because every time I move it, it dumps glitter over me. And everything I've purchased in the last week that went in said bag had glitter on it. I had glitter on me for a long period of the day. This is the one that I'm going to keep here, that I'm going to use as an advent calendar. So this has come from B&M. Has it? Am I lying? No, that's B&M, isn't it? So this was £2.50 from B&M. This one, I think that one came from Home Bargains. Christmas tinsel yarn. So that's the yarn that I'm using, Christmas tinsel yarn. And that cost me £1.99, but it should actually say it on there, but it doesn't. £1.99. And toothpaste, that wasn't part of it. Hanging star with foliage, that cost me £1.99. So I don't want to spend like a lot of money on here, because the extent of the money that I've spent is the lottery tickets. So that's what I spent the lion's share of the money on. So I've picked up the £1 ones, and I've gone with a Christmas theme. I've also got some of them ones because the jackpot is higher. It's only a 10 grand jackpot on that, and I've got them ones to put on the star because I think turquoise goes well with the star. And then the ones that I want to add at the bottom, so I've actually got 4 of these because I want one. We're going to have one of these ourselves. I'm going to try and add a bit to the bottom and put that on there. So for which I have got festive pegs. So if you were to buy yourself a wreath, a round wreath, which would have lots of foliage sticking out like that, obviously then it's really simple to just put a little peg on the foliage and attach said card with that. I may well do a bit of that. I want to see just how feasible that is. It looks quite feasible, but we will see. So the pegs, they were from Home Bargains. I know they were because I've had to go to 2 different Home Bargains here. Novelty accessories, novelty, 79 pence. 79 pence for 10 pegs, novelty pegs, and that's pretty much everything I've got here. I know that I haven't spent that much money on this. This is a very cheap, very simple, hopefully, gift. Word of warning: if you are going to do this and you do want to buy them all at once, it is not possible. If you want to do a 24-day, which obviously Advent is already begun, but if you wanted to put 12 on there, even 12 would be 2 visits to different shops or 2 different days, because I have been going to Sainsbury's next to where I work periodically to get these. You can only buy 10 lottery tickets at one time. So it's worth remembering that if you're doing it, you can only buy 10 from one retailer at a time of these. So I am going to see where I get trying to put this on here. This one, aside from the fact that it's dumping glitter everywhere, this one is not going to be complex at all, because all I'm going to do is put them in like that, which obviously you need to put them that way around if you're actually going to take them out. So this one is going to be the easiest one to facilitate. She says, struggling to put the card in there. I want to be able to put multiples in, so I don't want it to take up too much room. Where's the rest of them? Well, the rest of them aren't perforated. I really, really don't want too much glitter everywhere, but I'm going to get glitter everywhere. I don't think they're going to be big enough to put in there, but I could put them in like that if I really wanted. But I don't fancy bending them. I just want them to sort of sit nicely within the star. So maybe I could put 2 in like that. I think that'll work. That's all right, isn't it? So I'm going to carry on with what I want to do, try and make it look reasonable, and then I'm going to report back with what I've actually achieved. So I'm going for something slightly less messy than this one is. You can see how messy that is on the back there. But this one will be ours. So this is just a trial, and hopefully this one will look reasonable for me to gift it to my friend. But it'll be a good gift because the lottery tickets are going to be there and there'll be winning ones, won't they? Right, so I'll be back in a second to see how I've got on. Okay, so this is where I am with this one. I have done a 5-point star on the back. Because the problem I had with this one, when I started to try and do the dream catcher thing, is that it just became really messy. Very messy. So I've kept it simple with that one. That's what it looks like from the front, not very much. But literally the reason I've done the 5 points is just because you can easily do it to each 5 points while keeping it taut. And obviously I can tie it off behind the foliage so it goes up that way. And I'm hoping it's going to be just enough to hold the lottery tickets in place, which I think it is going to be enough. I can't really do it on camera one-handed. It's not going to be quite as tight as the other one, but I also don't want it to look like really harebrained and messy. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to see what I can do in regards to the bottom bit, because although I'm not going to, I don't know how to do macrame. I mean, if you could do macrame, then you would make something beautiful hanging off the bottom. I'm going to use my glitter thread, which is now all over the carpet, to do this. Now the star, that's gone really well. This because this was the easiest. That one is like almost perfect, and that is 12 days. So that is like a 12 days of Christmas one. So I'll show you at the very end. I'm going to carry on with this one and see if I can make something, because I want to just take one of these. I want to hang on the bottom here one or two of these. I want to say 2, because I don't want the present to be like really stingy. But I'm either going to end up clipping it on there or clipping it on the bottom, but I'm going to see if I can make a sort of weave that hangs on the bottom of here that doesn't look too stupid. Obviously, the easiest way of doing it is to just take that and loop it, which I'm thinking I might well do. I just don't want it to be too gaudy. I just want it as a really basic gift. But also, I'm trying to avoid craziness, which the prototype ended up crazy. Right, so I'm trying to keep it really simple, but I have cut off just a really short thread, folded it in half like that, and then you get it over that bit, over one of the corners, and loop it. So hard to do it on camera. I know I can point it down. I have a far superior tripod now. So just looping it over so that it's like that. That one's not staying there, because obviously I don't want it on the corner. Yeah, because that will happen. It will slide off. So I have only done this on the bottom bit. Come on. So it's not a knot, because it'll just come off really easily. But that is, you could put, if you had a really nice bead, you could put a really nice bead in there, and I could join those ones up, which I might well do, because then it'll actually get through the post, won't it, if I loop that up. So I may well be tying those bits together, because all I've done is done a loop there and a loop on that corner and then a loop in the middle, and then I'm going to peg with the trusty pegs. I'm going to peg some of the tickets onto the bottom. The two big tickets will go on the bottom. So I think because I've tied both ends in there, I can tie those two together, and then I'll have a bit to go on the side, which will sort of just hang down around the lottery ticket. So that's where I am. That's what it looks like from the back. So just a replication of that star on the back, and then looped over at the bottom 3 pieces, which I've then tied together. So you've got your 2 sides there, and your 2 sides there. So them 2 I've tied together in the middle, and then these parts I'm going to peg the tickets to. So I'm now going to put the tickets in. So the theory is that the tickets will just slot in there, because I did check that this was just an ordinary size of thing, so obviously it's got to go in like that. So I'm going to have a number of them there, and that's how they're going to fit in, and it's going to look so much better than this one. So let's see if my theory works, or if this really is going to look like a really cheap gift. Okay, so I am finished. I told you it was DIY. It's DIY because it's simple for everybody. Oh, I feel like I've broken part of my polystyrene foliage. I promise you these are polystyrene. They sell these in the shop I work in, and some child got hold of one and bit into it, and it's definitely polystyrene because he had a face on. Right, so the bit that's hanging at the bottom, I mean, it doesn't look great from the back, but you won't see the back, but you will when you unpick it, I suppose, or unpeg them. Anyway, I've pegged them on there, so those are the better lottery tickets at the bottom. I couldn't have possibly put them in there, so I have got 5 on here, 5 smaller tickets in here, because obviously it's only a 5-point star for them to fit into, and that's what they look like at the back. I can stuff a lot more in there, because the prototype that I did, that one is tidier than that one, and so you can stuff more in there and make it look more generous, or like I said, you could peg to the outside with additional ones. So I can peg other ones on there, it's just it starts to look a little bit wild with them pegged on there. So I'm going to leave it at that. It is just a gift to add to what I'm sending to my friend, and hopefully she'll hang that up and not think I'm a complete lunatic sending her a load of lottery scratch cards pinned to a star. But it's just a DIY gift, and gifts are to be looked at as just that. It is a gift. So yeah, I think it could have gone better, but there you go. Now this one that I'm planning on us keeping, and I'm going to hang it up now before I get more glitter on my rug. This one went exactly how I hoped it would go. Now I'm not going to add any more to that, because that is 12, and you technically have 12 days of Christmas, and some advent calendars out there, like the Pringles advent calendar I looked up, which I quite liked, only had 12 things in it. So I think that has gone really well. All I've done is slid them in there, and it's really easy to take them out. So all I've done is slotted them behind this, because it's flexible enough to do so. I put the 2 better ones at the top, and so that's 2, and then there's 10 of the other, which makes it 12. So I was able to put 3 in. I don't really want to start shoving more and more and more in, because it'll just start to look silly. I mean, you could, bend some over and stick them in a certain way, but it'll just start to look insane. So there you go. 2 DIY Christmas display things with lottery tickets. I feel it could have gone better, but it is just a gift idea. There are so many. I mean, this one looks absolutely mental now. There are so many of these like wreaths and things for sale in the shops, and they'll start dropping them in prices. I mean, I noticed the ones in Sainsbury's. I mean, I know that I've only like paid £2 for that one there at B&M, but the ones in Sainsbury's, they've been dropping their prices because they were up at the £10 region. I haven't even looked in TK Maxx. I mean, I suppose they would have some. They had sort of like branches in Poundland, and the Poundland ones would work with the peg option. But I think they were asking £5, and I just thought, well, that's not in the spirit of Poundland. I worked at Poundland for one Christmas 25 years ago. Yeah, and so I know that when it was £1, so yeah, I sort of looked at it and I was like, you know, regardless of the fact that I thought I would make a video, I'm not going to pay £5 to have a fake piece, a fake branch pinned to the wall with lottery tickets in it. This I like. This I don't think will look obnoxious, and it won't look obnoxious when the things come out, because obviously it was intended to be that way, and it doesn't look obnoxious from the back either. What is obnoxious is the serious amount of glitter and fake snow, which I am now wearing. Anyway, that's going up so that I can stop dealing with this. That one, the prototype, is for us. I want to make one for my parents in a way, so I might get some more. I do, because I went round and round and I did buy lottery tickets. I've ended up with 5 spare ones. Like I say, I was considering putting them on the outside. I just think it's going to get too busy and it's going to look too busy. So yeah. What do you think, boys? Unimpressed. Maybe I should just get my lottery tickets and just pin them to the tree. Because I don't feel like I've got enough decorations anymore on the tree. You see, that works as well. Simple ideas. We should stick with the simple ideas. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Maybe I've given you some inspiration. Maybe yours will come out looking a damn sight better than mine, because I had big ideas for this. I thought it was going to look extravagant. I thought it was going to, be absolutely filled. I've seen some of the ones that they do in America where they do use a big wreath, and they really make it look good. And I've also seen people who make bouquets. And with the bouquets, when they do the bouquets, they do bend them to try and make them look like a flower. But I mean, that wasn't, it was beyond my capability. So anyway, yeah, I've produced that. And I've produced that. That is all I wanted to achieve. And I'm fairly happy with that. So hopefully it's given you some ideas, and you'll like to make one yourself, or you'll like to go, oh, thank God I'm not in Lady in the Frog's household with a gaudy star, 2 gaudy stars emblazoned with lottery tickets. So anyway, yeah, that's my Christmas my Christmas festive decor sorted-ish. Thank you for watching, and I will be back soon with more with reselling content rather than this. Thanks for watching.